Hi, my name's Rick with Vintage a Wine Shop, and welcome to Vintage TV. I'm here with Clint today. Clint has prepared some food on the barbecue, and we're going to talk about wines and pairing wines with barbecued foods. I think Clint's got some steaks, some vegetables, and some ribs.
Yeah, good classic stuff. Barbecue pork ribs, you can't beat that for good classic barbecue, and a nice grilled rib steak, and some of my favorites, grilled vegetables. Really simple.
Hey,
Salt, pepper.
Let's start off here with how did you do the ribs? That's going to be entertaining for me.
The ribs? Well, kind of funny, we had a laugh outside while we were cooking this, but in order to get ribs tender, you have to cook them nice and slow. So my trick, what I always like to do with ribs is get a good rub, whatever kind of seasoning you like on there, season them really well, put them in the oven or on the grill wrapped in foil at about 300 degrees. Back ribs, baby back ribs don't take quite as long as the pork spare ribs do. So back ribs you're going to do about an hour, pork spare ribs about an hour and a half, and then it'll just get them cooked through slowly so they get nice and tender. And then you're going to throw them on the grill to get that nice char on the outside and put the sauce on them if you're going to sauce them.
So in tin foil on the grill.
So in tin foil for about an hour, hour and a half. Keeps all the moisture in there.
Do you put any liquids in the tin foil?
No, there's enough. There's enough liquid in the in the ribs. Once it's wrapped up, it's going to capture all that. So
okay.
But that's the trick to get them nice and tender. Pre-cook them a little bit like that, an hour, hour and a half, kind of low heat, and then turn up the heat a little bit, and then grill them. And serve it with good wine, right?
Great wine.
Right.
We've got a couple Zins. We're talking about ribs right now, so I picked out a couple fantastic Zins. The first one is Pedroncelli from Sonoma. Pedroncelli's been making wine since 1927, and they made it through Prohibition, so they're all still here, and I just love this Zin. It's in the $14 to $16 range, so perfect. It's not going to break the bank, and it's got a lot of spice, which I think will pair very well with anything that's barbecued.
Right. And Julie Pedroncelli was on one of the previous episodes.
Oh yes, I remember that. That was fun
last year. Yeah.
I think we had the Zin there as well.
I think
that's what we were tasting.
And didn't they? If I remember right, during Prohibition they grew grapes because you can make wine at home for your own consumption, right? So that's what they did back then. Sold them, but they kept the vines. So they've got some of the oldest vines up there. I would imagine.
Yeah, they do have old vines.
Yeah.
I think this vineyard, I believe, has been somewhat replanted, but there's still some old vines out there. So this is a 2009 Pedroncelli Zinfandel. It's called the Mother Clone from Dry Creek Valley. Just it's got a little bit more spiciness to kind of pair with the spiciness of the ribs.
Right.
The next one is Yorba. So from the foothills, and she comes to Reno quite often. Saw her a couple weeks ago. She's a viticulturist, and I'm sure she helps in the winemaking as well. And I really just like this Zin. I like all of her wines. She has a huge amount of experience.
Okay, and she's kind of new to the foothills?
I'm not sure when she went there.
But she was in Napa, right?
Yeah. She's got a background in Napa.
So a lot of time in Napa and then over to the foothills to
do her own thing.
Well, the foothills are cool because the foothill wineries are just now really getting into their own, and they've been growing and making wines there long enough now that they're starting to.
And I'm seeing some winemakers out of Napa Valley buying fruit out of the foothills.
Right.
So
That's a good sign.
Really got a lot of credibility.
And it's a little bit sweeter nose than the Pedroncelli.
It's a little bit more fruit forward.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of spice, maybe just a hint, but it's got a lot of kind of deep dark fruit, maybe blackberries or dark cherries.
And it's a little bit darker in color than the Pedroncelli too, huh? Pedroncelli is just a little lighter.
Yeah. But and let's talk a little bit about color. Don't judge a wine based on color.
No.
Because we all know that the color comes from the skins, and there's a lot of flavor in a lot of wines that aren't deep and dark. And we can talk about Pinot Noirs. They're very light colored wine, but they just have an exorbitant amount of flavor.
And the skins are going to bring a color and also introduce tannins, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, the barrels and the seeds can produce tannins. Yeah. Oh, and tune into the next episode too, because we're going to taste a $15 wine that has a huge amount of tannins. Yeah. And you really don't find that very often.
That's that cab, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
awesome.
As long as you brought up tannins.
So ribs, Zin, awesome pairing, good classic combination.
Yeah, and when you go into a store, there's traditionally, and there's several different types of Zinfandel. But most of the Zens are kind of classified in they're either spicy or fruit forward. So you can always ask the person that's helping you in the store if you're what you're preparing, and they can kind of guide you in the right direction. They know whether you're looking for a spicy Zen or maybe a little more fruit forward Zen like a Gregory Graham or a Rombauer. So
okay, and a lighter Zen would also go well if you did. You could even pair it with seafood, with salmon or something like that. Grilled salmon would be nice. So if you're doing a mixed grill with salmon and steak or pork even, a lighter maybe.
You don't ever want the wine to bury the food. The food should be the predominant,
and the
wine's an accent. Right? Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it. My name is Rick, and I am with Clint. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.